it is time for football at 4. And today, it's going to be a little bit of news. We're going to have some audio to play for you, but it could also be seen as a word of warning. Sometimes I think the transfer portal is seen by players and fans as just an opportunity for players to go jump at the better opportunities, which in a lot of ways it is. Go fulfill their dreams, which in a lot of ways it is. But I also want to make sure you know, meaning players, meaning fans, like when somebody leaves, that doesn't mean their dreams are guaranteed to happen. Going from a mid-major to a Power 5 doesn't automatically mean you're going to be making way more NIL money and you're going to become a star. Going from a perceived lesser school to a blue blood doesn't guarantee you're going to be an NFL draft pick. I think Riley Leonard is right in this spot. Riley Leonard left Duke, transferred to Notre Dame. Now he's on lists of dark horse to be the number 1 overall pick, right? He becomes this other entity, and it's perceived that he left Duke to go to Wake Forest, and now he'll be showered with riches, and he'll get to live out his dream. Well, it's rare, but we have almost a literal one-to-one comparison. Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman left an ACC school in the state of North Carolina where he had established himself as a star to go to Notre Dame with the same idea, right? He's going to play in a more pro-style offense. He's going to show everybody what he can do. He's going to play top competition, and then he's going to go to the NFL. Well, guess what happened? Didn't lead him to the promised land. He went to Notre Dame, posted a career-high passer rating, right? Just by a little bit, but still. So a better efficiency season than he posted at Wake Forest at any point in time. Went undrafted in the NFL. Signed with the Commanders as an undrafted free agent. And was still drafted in the UFL draft, which is that spring league, because they aren't confident he's going to make an NFL roster and they want him to have a landing place if he doesn't. And then when College Football 25 came out, guess which team he was playing with and posting screenshots of online?
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Against Clemson, who he went undefeated against, or went winless against during his career
and he beat
at
him
Wake
by
Forest.
A bunch. But he's playing as Wake Forest, right? The place that he left to go chase these dreams. Now, I'm not saying anything about like regrets or anything like that. I'm sure that Notre Dame season was really, really fun. But there would have been something cool about putting that ACC touchdowns record so far out of reach, it'll never be beaten. Would have been something cool about having another season at Wake Forest. So now Riley Leonard is doing the same thing. It's a bet on himself. But it is not a guarantee. And there is a cost of it, right? Riley Leonard stays at Duke another year or two. Couple more really exciting wins, right? Bring game day back, right? Give Clemson another run. Do something like that. You're getting legendary status in Durham, right? You might be the one basketball or one football player that can hang out with the basketball team. Instead, he's going to Notre Dame, and he's betting on himself, and he's chasing a loftier dream. But that's not to say it's always going to end up perfect, right? The transfer portal, I think a lot of players look at it as some kind of guarantee, right? I hit the portal, I go to a better situation, bada boom, bada bam, all my wildest dreams come true. The transfer portal just puts you in a situation where things are going to be different. And another way to say that is things are never going to be the same. Right? Riley Leonard's legacy at Duke is completely different now. There was something he gave up to go chase that dream at Notre Dame. Let's jump to the clip here from Riley Leonard, who spoke to the media on why he transferred to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think everybody at Notre Dame kind of feels the culture that we have there is something special. I think the fan base and the tradition we carry around with us everywhere we go is unlike any other. So I only took one visit to a school when I was in the portal, and it was to Notre Dame, and I knew from there it was a place for me.
It's crazy to me to hear him already saying we, like
as he should, right? I mean, now he's supposed to be their leader. Like it is weird to hear. No, I'm with you, but it is like once you become that guy, you're speaking as a mouthpiece for the team. You can't say they.
and also taken one visit during his time in the transfer portal, and it was to Notre Dame. It makes me think, and Tim, we brought this up before, or we've talked about this before, what was really said during that interaction following the Notre Dame-Duke game last year between Sam Hartman and Riley Leonard?
It wouldn't even have to be then. It could be any time, right? He could talk to Sam Hartman. He could talk to the tampering of it all. It's people will hate it, but it happened.
Do you think at the very end, like when he was when Sam Hartman was getting ready to walk away, like hey, by the way, you're good enough to play here, like just kind of planted the seed a little bit?
I don't know if it had to come from Sam. I think it could have come from coaches, like, through back channels. Maybe they used Sam as that. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was just like, hey man, get back healthy, because he was hurt at the time. I don't want to like get that specific into guesses and conjecture, but no, I definitely think he knew Notre Dame was interested before he hit the transfer portal. I definitely think that. But the overall points I'm making, because like Sam Hartman might have said like, oh, it's awesome, it's great, right? It is Notre Dame, right?
Football
like,
Jesus,
yeah,
gold helmets.
Touchdown Jesus, Rudy, Joe Montana, like it's a thing, right? It is a thing.
New head coach Marcus Freeman. You get to be a part of a new generational glory.
I don't know if I've name dropped this one too much on this show. I try not to name drop a ton, but I did play 4 years of football and basketball with Manti Te'o. In middle school and early high school, we were teammates, and obviously for a long time there were a lot of jokes about that. But now after the documentary came out, I think there's a lot less jokes about Manti, which is awesome. But what people don't know is one of Manti's best friends that also went to school with us, his name was Robbie Toma, played at Notre Dame also. And punt returner, wide receiver, spot player, like didn't become a superstar. But when I tell you this guy is still beloved by Notre Dame, like if he goes to South Bend, Indiana, just like a gadget wide receiver, punt returner from 10, 15 years ago, like Notre Dame, it is cool. Don't get me wrong, right? Like if you play there, good for Riley Leonard. But what I would say is you could have, like, that's just any player at Notre Dame. At Duke, Riley Leonard could have been not just any player at Notre Dame, right? He could have been the player at Duke. He could have, you get drafted first overall out of Duke, or you get to a Heisman finalist out of Duke, or you win ACC something or another out of Duke. You're not just another player. You are something special that they try to build on.
I mean, I forget about this until I was reading an article earlier. And in the 2022 season, he rushed, after rushing and passing for a combined 33 touchdowns at Duke.
13 of them rushing.
Yeah.
No, he was – I still think he has a ton of potential. I don't know if he had to go to Notre Dame to reach that potential. That's kind of what I think. He could have been the first pick if he plays great. I think he could have, risen up Mel Kiper's draft board. I think he could have had all the hype at Duke. By leaving, you do give something up, but you do gain the Notre Dame stuff. So I'm fine with that. I'm just pointing out that the transfer portal, and you see it in basketball, right? You score 20 points at we were just talking about. You score 20 points at a mid-major, boom, cash that in, go to the ACC school right away. There's no guarantee they're going to let you shoot that much, right? There's no guarantee that that you're going to be now an NBA draft prospect because you're in the ACC. Sometimes, I know you want to test yourself and all those things. You just have to weigh both sides of it. That's my point here. The trend, like Sam Hartman maybe already is, but could go down as the greatest quarterback in Wake Forest history by so far it's absurd, right? Instead, he went to Notre Dame. He passed on some of that to go to Notre Dame, I assume with the idea that he wanted to shoot up his draft status and end up in the NFL.
Or here's the other part of this, and this is where
and that didn't happen. Go ahead.
And this is where Duke fans kind of had to take the cold, hard look in the mirror. Maybe he just wants to compete. Maybe he wants to be a part of a team that can compete for a college football championship.
If you think Notre Dame can do that. Again, I followed Manti Te'o's career very closely. They made the national championship that year. I lost quite a few bets with my friends and teammates betting on my guy at Notre Dame because they lost by about 40 to Alabama. And that's the last time Notre Dame really had a good run at it. And if you call that a good run at it. If they win the national championship, you can play this back and everybody can laugh at me.